Hello, and welcome to today's presentation on behalf of the JONA staff. Please save any questions you may have for the end of this presentation. Thank you. Agenda: welcome letter, security, dress code, calling procedures, attendance policy, breaks, pay rate, time clock, parking, work hours, insubordination, employee conduct and work rules, housekeeping, smoking, food and drinks, personal valuables, general safety, end of assignment, harassment policy, equal employment opportunity policy, complaint policy and procedures, paperless pay terms, and orientation documentation. Welcome. Welcome to JTI Leaf Services on behalf of the JONA staff. We are pleased to confirm your acceptance of our offer for the on-call backfill position with JONA staffing at JTI Leaf Services. Your starting wage will be at the hourly rate of $9 per hour. We pay all our employees weekly and at the end of the business day on Friday. However, you will be in a week in the hole and paid the week following the days you work. At the time of your interview, optional health insurance was offered to you. If you choose to enroll in the insurance and have questions, please feel free to call Essential Staff Care at 1-866-798-0803 or talk with JONA Management. If you have any questions about your compensation, please let us know prior to starting work. We are delighted you are joining us, and your role as a backfill is critical in ensuring that the JTI Leaf Services plant is at 100% manpower at all times. We look forward to your first day working here at JTI Leaf Services. The orientation that you will watch today encompasses policies and procedures that you must know prior to starting your assignment at JTI. Make sure that you are familiar with the policies and procedures covered in this video today in order to ensure your success with JONA staffing. During your first few weeks, you will meet many coworkers, supervisors, and managers. We are all here to support you. These individuals are available to serve as a resource, so please let JONA Management know if you have any questions or concerns in regards to what is expected of you while working on assignment at JTI Leaf Services. We are excited about you joining the JONA staffing team at JTI, and our desire is to ensure that you are successful in your new role. Please don't hesitate to contact JONA Management if you have any questions or concerns. We look forward to a positive working relationship. You will receive a copy of this information before you leave the office today. Overview: JONA Staffing has entered into an agreement to provide essential labor for JTI Leaf Services located at 202 Stinton Drive in Danville, Virginia. Employees assigned by JONA Staffing to work at JTI Leaf Services must abide by the same regulations as the JTI Leaf Services full-time permanent employees. This orientation encompasses some of their policies and procedures but is in no way a complete listing. Should a discrepancy occur between JTI Leaf Services policy and JONA Staffing's policy, JONA Staffing's policy shall apply. Parking. Parking is permitted at the end of the building near the security entrance. Do not park on the other side of the plants. Park on the side of the building closest to the entrance. Dress code. A clean and neat appearance is expected at all times. Clothing should not contain foul language or derogatory, offensive language or pictures. Any employee deemed to be wearing inappropriate clothing that cannot be changed or covered will be sent home to change without pay. Specific clothing requirements are as follows: no tank tops, halter tops, midriff bearing tops, or other revealing tops. Shorts are not authorized. Clothing must fit properly so as to not create a snag safety hazard. Employees must remove all jewelry before going out onto the manufacturing floor. Jewelry of any type is prohibited. Open-toe shoes are not permitted. Shoes must be closed in the front and in the back. No nail polish or false nails or eyelashes are allowed. Carry nothing into the manufacturing area that is not needed for the performance of your job. It is our desire to eliminate non-tobacco-related materials from the tobacco here at JTI. Anyone who possesses jewelry, cell phones, food, drink, or candy inside the manufacturing area will immediately have their assignment ended. Calling procedures. Now that you are set up to work on call, you must notify JONA staffing each day that you are available to work by calling to state your availability. When calling in to state your availability to work at JTI Leaf Services, you must call 434-799-3286, extension 231 or extension 232, the office in Danville. Do not call into any other number. If you call the JONA staffing office and if no one answers the phone, please leave us a voicemail to state your availability. In the voicemail, you will need to state your first name, last name, a phone number that you can be contacted at, and the shift or shifts that you are available to work for that particular day. Please speak clearly so that we can understand you. If we have work available for you, we will give you a call back at the number you provided us to confirm that you will be able to report to work that day. Please do not call the JONA staffing office and say you are available to work, and when we call you in, you say that you are unable to come in. Please call each day that you are available to work. Attendance policy. If you call and say that you are available to work, and JONA staffing calls you in to work and you say that you cannot make it in, that will be one strike. If this happens 2 times when we try to call you in, then your assignment as a backfill at JTI Leaf Services will be ended and you will no longer be eligible for work. So, show your face or lose your space. Security. It is JTI Leaf Services policy to ensure that all visitors and employees assigned to work at JTI Leaf Services are properly identified and registered to make certain that security is not compromised. If called into work, each employee will need to stop by the JONA staffing office upon arrival each day so that you can get a temporary security badge issued to you. At the end of your shift, it is your responsibility to return the security badge back into the JONA staffing office. This temporary security card is only for the employees used to whom it is assigned. It may not be given to anyone else to gain entrance to the facility. Should a badge be lost or stolen or not returned to JONA staffing at the end of your shift, you will be charged the cost of replacing it, $5. The picture to the right is an example of the temporary security badge that you will receive upon arrival. Security continued. Below are 2 areas in which you will need to scan your security badge in order to gain access into the facilities at JTI Leaf Services. The lower left picture is the turnstile leading to the time clock. The lower right picture is the security entrance leading to the manufacturing floor. Security continued. Scan your security badge at the keypads here throughout the facility to gain access. As pictured behind is the time clock. Time clock. Employees are responsible for ensuring that their time is accurately recorded on our time clock. You must punch in and out properly each day that you work. Should you not clock in or out, your paycheck for that week will be incorrect. It is your responsibility to inform the JONA Staffing On-Site Manager or JONA Staffing On-Site Supervisor if you forget your time card, so that we can verify the hours you worked with your line supervisor and correctly record those hours. Your time is your responsibility. If you do not punch in and out correctly, we cannot pay you correctly. How to clock in. To clock in, press the in button, then swipe your time card downward. When swiping your time card, make sure the barcode on the time card is facing the right-hand side of the time clock, as pictured below. Then swipe down. How to clock in continued. If you clocked in properly, the below message will appear on the screen. It will say in for day. How to clock out. To clock out, press the out button, then swipe your time card downward. When swiping your time card, make sure the barcode on your time card is facing the right-hand side of the time clock, as pictured below. Then swipe down. How to clock out continued. If you clocked out properly, the below message will appear on the screen. It will say out. Clocking in and out. If you have problems clocking in or out, please let JONA management know, as it is your responsibility to do this each day. On the job, a JONA staffing representative will walk you out to your position each day that you work and introduce you to the department supervisor. They will show you the position you will be assigned each day. When working on call, you may work in a different department each day you are called in. As pictured to the left, these are each departments that we have at JTI Leaf Services, and you may work in any one of those departments. So please be familiar with the route. You must walk only in designated pedestrian walkways. Please follow the signs. As pictured to the right, there are signs that you will see that you will follow throughout the JTI Leaf Services plant. Please follow these signs. Work hours and JONA staff. The first shift manager is Michael Gilliam. First shift is from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The second shift manager is Savannah Eckloff. Second shift is from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. The third shift manager is Jimmy Johnson. Third shift is from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. For most employees, the workday will consist of an 8-hour shift. This schedule may change depending on the manufacturing needs of JTI. All employees must have the permission of their immediate supervisor and JONA management prior to leaving the building during scheduled work hours. Breaks. You will allow 2 10-minute breaks throughout your shift. One should be taken the first half of your shift and one the second half of your shift. You are allotted 5-minute travel time to and from your break room. These breaks are to be taken at the discretion of your supervisor, and they will let you know when you are to go on break. Returning late from breaks is a violation of company policy and can result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Note: your break at JTI Leaf Services will be a paid break. Thus, you will not be able to leave the facility during lunch break. We advise everyone to pack a lunch or bring money so that you can purchase something from the vending machines. Refrigerators and microwaves are available for your use in the break room. Pay rate. Your pay will be discussed with you prior to your scheduled starting date. If you have any questions or concerns about your pay rate, please discuss it with a JONA staff member. Pay rates are determined by the job description and your duties. Pay rates are confidential and are not to be discussed with any other employee. Employee conduct and rules overview. To ensure orderly operations and provide the best possible work environment at JTI, JONA Staffing expects our employees to follow rules of conduct that will protect their interests and safety of all employees and the organization. While it is not possible to list all the forms of behavior that are considered unacceptable in the workplace, the following are examples of infractions of rules of conduct that may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. Insubordination. Insubordination is the defiance of an employer's or supervisor's authority, including disobeying a lawful order, direction, or work assignment, or the physical or verbal abuse of a supervisor or manager. Failure to comply with a supervisor's lawful request, or speaking to a supervisor disrespectfully, or using profanity to a supervisor are grounds for disciplinary actions up to and including termination. Supervisors, however, are not infallible. Although supervisors' lawful directions must be followed, should you have a complaint or problem with the treatment you receive from a supervisor, please report this to a member of the JONA management. We will investigate your complaint and work to remedy the problem should one be uncovered. Employee and conduct rules examples: theft or inappropriate removal of possession of property, falsification of timekeeping records, falsification of employee documentation, working under the influence of alcohol or illegal drugs, possession, distribution, sales, transfer, or use of alcohol or illegal drugs in the workplace while on duty or while operating employer-owned vehicles or equipment, frightening or threatening violence in the workplace, boisterous or disruptive activity in the workplace, negligence or improper conduct leading to damage of employer-owned or customer-owned property, insubordination or other disrespectful conduct, violation of safety or health rules, smoking in prohibited areas, sexual, other unlawful, or unwelcome harassment, Possession of dangerous or unauthorized materials such as explosives or firearms in the workplace. Excessive absenteeism or absence without notice. Overextending breaks time or being absent from the line without authorization. Sleeping on the job. Unauthorized use of computers, telephones, mail system, or other client or employer-owned equipment. Possession of a cell phone inside the manufacturing facility, not including the break room. Unauthorized disclosure of business secrets or confidential information. Violation of personal policies. And unsatisfactory performance or conduct. Housekeeping. Housekeeping is everyone's responsibility at JTI Leaf Services. Your work area and the aisles around your workspace are to be kept clean and clear. You're responsible for cleaning and sweeping your work area at the completion of your shift. Collect your trash and empty in the proper receptacle. Face masks are to be thrown away in the trash cans prior to leaving the building. Any employee found to have thrown trash, face masks, or other refuse on the ground either inside or outside the plant will be subject to disciplinary actions up to and including termination. Also, pay special attention to the cleanliness of the restroom and break areas. Also, pick up after yourself. Dispose of trash properly. If you find an area that needs attention, please let your supervisor or JONA management know. Again, housekeeping is everyone's responsibility. Your habits are a reflection of you. So, clean up and pick up after yourself. Smoking. For safety and health reasons, smoking is not permitted in the building. This includes the break room, restroom, and all work areas. Smoking is allowed outside the cafeteria in the designated smoking area. Cigarette butts, empty packs, and cellophane wrappers must be disposed of properly in the provided ash can or trash receptacle. Having this area is a privilege. Failure to maintain this area in good order could cost you and everyone else the loss of this area. Food and drinks. Food and drinks are not permitted in the work area. Vending machines, change machines, ice machines, and microwaves are available in the break room. Personal valuables. Neither JONA Staffing, JTI Leaf Services, nor the client site to which you are assigned will be held liable for the personal belongings lost while at work inside the building or in the parking lot. We suggest that you do not bring valuables to work with you. You may use a vacant locker and may bring a lock to secure your belongings, but at the end of your shift, you should remove your lock from the locker and take it and your items stored in the locker with you. Should you cease employment at JTI and do not remove your lock, it will be cut off and the items left in the locker will be discarded. Anyone who possesses a cell phone in the manufacturing area will have their assignment immediately ended. This will serve as your final warning. You may use your cell phone in the break area while on break. However, even if it's turned off, cell phones are not allowed in the manufacturing area. No cell phones in the manufacturing area. General safety overview. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Every employee is responsible for the safety of him or herself as well as the safety of those around them. Should you see an unsafe condition, it is your responsibility to report it to your lead supervisor or lead person immediately. Safety equipment issued to you must be used at all times and must be maintained in the proper working order. Because the safety of all employees is important, the following safety practices must be observed at all times by all employees. Any violations may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Safety equipment replacement. If any of your safety equipment becomes inoperable or is worn out, please bring the old equipment by the JONA staffing office and we'll replace it for free. If any of your safety equipment is lost, stolen, or if you fail to bring the old pair of safety equipment to the office for exchange, then you will be charged. You will fill out a safety equipment replacement form and will be charged on your paycheck. Do not bring your own safety equipment into the plant. You must use only the approved safety equipment issued to you by JONA Staffing. General safety examples. Safe operating practices are to be observed in the use of box tape guns, band cutters, or other hand tools. Wear safety equipment required for the job. Shoes should be closed in the front and must cover the heel. Long sleeves are required in the demanding area. Only operate a forklift after receiving the required training and authorization and use of all safety belts, chocks, dock plate positioning, and operate at safe speeds. Never operate machinery unless you are authorized to do so and all safety devices are in place. Do not repair or adjust machinery unless authorized. All machinery must be turned off when not in use, if it is unattended or being cleaned or making repairs. Be careful with your hands when operating machinery. Watch to see others do not harm themselves on the machines. Use only approved chemicals or compounds as directed by your supervisor. Any chemicals in the work area will have the appropriate MSDS in the maintenance office here at JTI. These materials are provided to help you identify the hazards and safety guidelines for each chemical used at JTI. Lifting activities are to be performed using the correct method and appropriate tools. Especially be cautious of lifting with your knees and not your back. Get object close to the body and get help if you think the lift is too heavy. Think about and avoid awkward positions. All lifts should be performed according to the safety practices detailed in any safe lifting training. Be very careful of the dangers of bloodborne pathogens, disease caused by not handling blood spills properly. Handle blood cuts carefully so not to expose yourself or others. Strictly adhere to the detailed practices outlined in any blood safety training. Avoid needle injury by observing all safe practices and the use of Sandy-Cap needs per your science safety procedures. Avoid repetitive motion injury by following practices such as rotating repetitive activities and exercises repetitive use muscles. All jewelry or other items hanging off your person should be removed and stored in your locker. The use of earbuds or iPods or telephones are prohibited on the production floor. Cell phones and other electronic equipment must be stored in your locker. Carry nothing on the work floor that is required for the performance of your job. Running, horseplay, practical jokes, and throwing objects is not permitted. End of assignment. Should your employment at JTI Leaf Services end for any reason or be interrupted due to a shutdown, you are required to contact JONA staffing within 3 business days to request further assignment, or your ability to receive unemployment pay through the ESC may be jeopardized. Harassment policy. JONA staffing is committed to providing a work environment in which all individuals are free from unlawful and improper harassment. Harassment is considered an act of misconduct and may result in disciplinary action up to and including dismissal. All management personnel are responsible for implementing and monitoring compliance with this policy. Harassment is defined as unwelcome or unsolicited verbal, physical, or sexual conduct which is made a term or condition of employment, is used as the basis for employment decisions, or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. Examples of what may be considered harassment, depending on the facts and circumstances, include but are limited to the following: verbal harassment, derogatory or vulgar comments regarding a person's race, sex, religion, ethnic heritage, physical appearance, or distribution of written or graphic material having such effects. Physical harassment, hitting, pushing, or other aggressive physical conduct or threat to take such action. Sexual harassment, unwelcome or unsolicited sexual advances, demands for sexual favors, or other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature. Any employee who has a complaint of harassment by anyone, including supervisors, fellow coworkers, or visitors, should promptly notify JONA management. JONA staffing will contact the appropriate individual at your client's site and begin an investigation. The company will make a thorough, confidential, and impartial investigation of the complaint and will attempt to do so within 24 business hours of receiving the complaint. Statements will be sworn to and placed in writing. The company will retain confidential documentation of all allegations and investigations and will take measures to immediately end the offending misconduct, protecting as much as possible all victims and witnesses. At the conclusion of the investigation, JONA staffing will inform you of the results of its investigation. Harassment of any type by JONA staffing employees can result in disciplinary action up to and including immediate termination. Equal Employment Opportunity Policy. JONA Staffing is committed to treating all individuals fairly without regard to any characteristics that have no bearing on job performance. This policy applies to all employees and applicants of JONA Staffing. In addition, this policy applies to all terms and conditions of employment, included but not limited to hiring, placement, promotion, termination, layoff, recall, transfer, leaves of absence, compensation, and training. JONA Staffing is an equal employment opportunity employer and does not discriminate in any employer-employee relations based on race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, national origin, age, marital status, disability, veteran status, or any other basis protected by applicable discrimination laws. JONA Staffing conducts business based on the following objectives: provide the best qualified individuals to its clients without regard to race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, national origin, age, marital status, disability, veteran status, or any other basis protected by applicable discrimination laws. Recruit, hire, train, and promote persons in all areas without regard to race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, national origin, age, marital status, disability, veteran status, or any other basis protected by applicable discrimination laws. Make employment-related decisions in a manner that furthers the principles of equal employment opportunity. Ensure all personnel actions such as assignments, compensation, benefits, transfers, layoffs, returns from layoff, and JONA Staffing sponsored training are administered without regard to race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, national origin, age, marital status, disability, veteran status, or any other basis protected by applicable discrimination laws. JONA Staffing will comply to the following legal requirements as they pertain to equal employment opportunity. Legally required notices will be openly displayed to ensure employee and applicant awareness of equal employment opportunity policies. JONA Staffing personnel actions at all facilities will conform to this policy and to federal, state, and local statutes regarding fair employment practices. JONA Staffing will establish equal employment policies, monitor and enforce support equal employment opportunities to ensure compliance with JONA Staffing's equal employment opportunity policy and federal, state, and local requirements. Review all personnel actions on a regular basis to ensure equal opportunity exists for all employees. Maintain a non-hostile, harassment-free work environment. Investigate, discuss, and take immediate and appropriate action on all employee discrimination complaints and resolve these complaints to a satisfactory conclusion whether they involve allegations to a JONA staff member or client. Ensure that any employee who makes a complaint under this policy will be treated with respect deserving of any other employee and will not be the victim of retaliation or retribution. Complaint policy and procedures. JONA Staffing has a strong commitment to equal opportunity in the workforce and believes that our employees should be treated with dignity and respect. The worksite should be free from harassment and discrimination. If you have complaints about your worksite, we require that we be notified and the proper procedure be followed so that we can investigate your complaint and rectify negative situations. Any employee who has a complaint of harassment or discrimination by anyone, including supervisors, fellow workers, or visitors, should promptly notify JONA staff members on your site location. You will be required to complete a statement divulging exactly what occurred, who was involved, who witnessed the incident, and in response to the situation. The incident will be reported to the appropriate individual at client site to get their assistance in investigating the claim. JONA Staffing will initiate a thorough, confidential, and impartial investigation of the complaint if at possible within 24 business hours of receiving the complaint. Statements by all involved parties will be sworn to and placed in writing. The company will retain confidential documentation of all allegations and investigations and will take measures to immediately end the offending misconduct, protecting as much as possible all victims and witnesses. At the conclusion of the investigation, JONA Staffing will inform you of the results of its investigation. If you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation, your complaint will then be escalated by JONA staff members on site to be reviewed by JONA Staffing's Board of Directors. Once that review has been finalized, You will be contacted and informed of the results of the review. Paperless pay terms. This page is available for you in your packet. Take it home and review it. This is how you can go online and print your pay stub directly online. Orientation documentation. Please turn to the last page of the orientation documentation pictured here. Please fill out the bottom section. Put your employee name, social security number, signature, and date. Once completed, please remove the last page from the booklet and give the signed page only to the JONA staffing manager in the office. This booklet is yours to keep. Thank you for coming in today, and we look forward to having a positive working relationship.